At the beginning of the story, we see a boy named Donald who has been feeling lonely and depressed ever since his mom died. His mom passed away 2 years ago, drowning in the lake near their house, but Donald suspects that his stepmom had something to do with his mom's death, and that his dad sided with her. His stepmom used to be his dad's secretary, and after his mom died, his dad married her. Dolan doesn't have a good relationship with his dad either, and he feels distant from both his dad and stepmom. He didn't want to stay inside, so he spent the whole day alone in his treehouse near the forest by his house. He got into the habit of spying on people who came into the forest through his telescope and would write everything he saw in his diary. He also wrote down his personal thoughts in it. One day, his stepmom found and read his diary, where he had written about the people he was watching and had even praised her beauty. After reading all this, his stepmom went to his treehouse. She flirts with Donald, and he can't control himself, so they end up getting really close. After that, Donald's stepmom blackmails him and sends him to another city to stop him from turning his dad against her and creating a rift between them. So, Donald ends up alone in a strange city with no place to eat, no money, and nowhere to stay. He has to spend the night hungry on a building's rooftop. The next morning, Donald sees a woman on the street named Kate. Kate looks a lot like Donald's dead mother. At first glance, Donald even thinks she is his mom. Donald starts following Kate and sees her going into a hotel. He decides to follow her inside and finds out that Kate is the manager there. Donald approaches Kate and asks if there's any work available. After a few questions, Kate hires him to work in the hotel kitchen. Donald really needs a job, so he starts working there and puts his heart into doing everything well. While working, he also enjoys it. After his shift ends, Donald starts following Kate and keeps track of her every move, where she goes, what she does, and even checks out her house. Donald does all this because he's starting to like Kate. One day, when Kate doesn't come to work and is out, Donald sneaks into her house. Looking out the window, he sees the clock tower and thinks Kate's house would be clearly visible from there. Plus, Donald works right under that clock tower. Just then, Kate walks into the room, so Donald slips out the window onto the roof of the house. From there, he starts spying on Kate through the glass skylight on her roof, keeping an eye on the gate. Donald, who used to sleep in a small hotel room, moves into the clock tower room the very next day and makes it his home since no one comes there. From this spot, he can watch Kate closely using his telescope. Ever since, Donald peeks into Kate's room every day through the telescope, watching her dance and work. One day, while Donald is watching Kate from the clock tower, he was keeping an eye out and saw that the senior from his hotel had come to Kat's place. They were having fun together. The next day, when Donald was using the stairs to go to the clock tower, the same hotel senior who was with Kat last night stopped him angrily and said, "You can't go up there, only senior staff are allowed." Later, when Donald was working in the kitchen, Kate came over and asked him how he was liking the work. Donald said he was enjoying it, and hearing this, Kat also feels nice. At night, when Donald is on the roof of Kate's house to see her, then he notices Kate is there with her senior. Donald hides and watches them, and from their conversation, he finds out that her senior is married and has 2 kids, so Kate is having an affair with him. Hearing this, Donald feels really bad. After that, Donald goes to the clock tower, where he hides away from everyone. Seeing Kate and her senior, he remembers his mother and feels like his father and stepmom had been having an affair for a long time. When his mom found out, she probably went to confront the stepmom, and that's when the stepmom must have killed her so she could live happily with his dad. At this point, Donald started thinking that his stepmom and dad had teamed up to kill his mom. So, Donald goes to the police station, accuses his stepmom of murdering his mom, and files a case. He also tells the officer that his dad isn't supporting him. The next day, Kate calls Donald to the office, and Donald gets offered a desk job, and he accepts it and starts working. Soon, he begins to like the job and even makes a friend. One day, while Donald is watching Kate from the clock tower, his senior spots him and realizes that Donald is keeping an eye on Kate from there. Angry, his senior threatens Donald, saying he'll report him to the police and get him fired. But Donald tells his senior that he knows everything, that he's cheating on his wife and having an affair with Kate. Donald tries to blackmail him, but his senior doesn't fire him, and they both decide to keep things between them secret. The next day, while Donald is at work, Kate comes up to him and wishes him a happy birthday because he just turned 19. His co-worker friend finds out too and asks him for a party. Kate also tells Donald to celebrate his birthday, so they all plan to go to a bar that night. Later, Donald, his co-worker friend, and Kate are at the bar, and they start drinking. Donald's friend drinks way too much, so he heads home while Donald and Kate keep drinking and chatting. They end up drinking for a long time, so Kate takes Donald back to her place. Kate's pretty drunk and, in the middle of their conversation, tries to get close to Donald, but he's not into it. Then, without anything happening, they both just go to sleep. Donald falls asleep next to Kate, thinking about how the girl he's been interested in is now sleeping right beside him, and it makes him feel really good. The next day, Hallam goes to work. So first, he goes up to Kate and asks her out on a date, but she turns him down. Kate tells him to forget whatever she did last night while she was drunk. Hearing this, Hallam feels sad and leaves. After a while, Donald is called to a hotel room, and when he gets there, he sees Kate. She starts getting close to him, and they become really close. Hallam begins to like being with Kate, and Kate is happy with him too. One day, when Hallam climbs up to Kate's rooftop to see her, he notices his senior is fighting with Kate, yelling angrily, trying to hit Kate. Seeing this, Donald gets really mad. To protect Kate, he pushes aside roof glass window and jumps into the room, trying to stop his senior. But the senior hits Donald and tells Kate about him. He says, "He used to climb up to the clock tower every day, watching you from your rooftop." Hearing this, Kate first tells her senior to leave. After he goes, she asks Donald, "Were you really watching me?" And Donald says he's been watching her ever since he first saw her. But there's a reason behind it. When Kate hears this, she gets angry and refuses to listen to him. She tells him to leave and even fires him from his job. The next day, when Kate is coming home from work, she sees Donald sitting outside the hotel. She feels sorry for him, so she takes him to her place. Later, when Kate asks Donald why he was watching her, Donald says it's because his mom passed away 2 years ago. "I broke down because of what happened. I loved my mom a lot, and that's why I never really got over that accident." Donald says, "After my mom died, my dad remarried, but I hated my stepmom. So, instead of staying at home, I started living in a treehouse in the nearby forest, where I would watch people through a telescope. Over time, it became a habit. But when I came to this city, Kate, I saw you." Donald goes on to say that my mom looked like you, and seeing you reminded me of her. He used to keep an eye on her because he missed his mom. Hearing this, Kate felt really bad for Donald. After that, Kate wore Donald's mom's dress, which Donald had brought along. When Donald saw her in his mom's dress, he started crying, remembering his mom. Kate comforted him. The next day, when Donald went to work, he found out that his parents had come looking for him. They got his address from the police station because he had filed a case against his stepmom, but since there was no evidence, no action was taken against her. Donald's dad tells him that they've taken on way too much debt and will have to sell some land to pay it off. He asks Donald to sign over a will that his mom had made out to him before she died. Donald gets scared, thinking his stepmom is behind all this, so he refuses to sign. Then his stepmom starts insulting him, and they leave. That night, Donald keeps thinking about what his stepmom said, that his mom's death was an accident. He should have forgotten about it, but Donald gets really angry remembering those things. The next day, Donald catches the train and goes home. Deeply affected by sorrow and pain, he quietly comes into the house, goes to his stepmother, covers her mouth, and ties her up. Then, he takes her to the lake and throws her into the water. The stepmother starts to drown, and at that moment, Donald realizes he's made a mistake. So he pulls her out of the water and apologizes to her. After that, the stepmother leaves, and then Donald's father comes to him and reveals that his mom had been depressed for a long time and had taken her own life. At this point, Donald understands that he was wrong for how he treated his dad. He apologizes, then catches a train to go see Kate. But she refuses to meet him. She says she's never had a good relationship with anyone, so she doesn't want to be in one right now. Kate tells Donald he's still too young, and if he wants to have a relationship with her in the future, he should come back after a few years. After that, Donald leaves. He walks away down the street, smiling to himself, thinking that one day he will definitely meet Kate. And with that, the movie ends. Thanks a lot for watching the video, friends. Please like and share it. And don't forget to subscribe to the channel and hit the bell icon so you don't miss any upcoming videos. See you in the next video. Till then, bye-bye.